In computer networks, IP number is a 32-bit long number. So with these 32 bits, the total number of IP addresses possible is 2 to the power 32, and that is roughly around 4 billion IP addresses. So how I calculated this? In decimal number, we see that 10 to the power 3, that is 1k. 10 to the power 6 is 1 million. 10 to the power 9 is 1 billion. But in binary number system, 2 to the power 10, that is equal to 1024, it's called 1k. And we can see here it is like roughly equal to the 1000 in the binary number system. 2 to the power 20 is called 1 mega, 2 to the power 30 is called 1 giga, and 2 to the power 40 is called 1 tera. And this 1 mega, that is 1024 into 1024, this is roughly equal to 1 million of decimal. This 1 giga, that is 2 to the power 30, is roughly equal to the 1 billion in decimal number. So when we have 2 to the power 32, we can write it as 2 to the power 2 into 2 to the power 30. And 2 to the power 30, we have seen that it's roughly equal to 1 billion. And this 2 to the power 2 is 4. So it is roughly equal to 4 billion IP addresses. Initially, when computer networks came in 1970s, this 32-bit number was divided into two parts. First was network ID and the second was host ID part. Network ID part had 8 bits and host ID part had 24 bits. With these 8 bits, the total number of network possible was 2 to the power 8, that is 2 to the power 16 networks. And number of IP addresses per network was 2 to the power 24. That was roughly equal to 16 million. Here we can see that there was only 256 networks available and per network there was 16 million hosts. But during 1970s there were very few networks. Therefore this 256 number was capable of like meeting the requirement. But later on, when internet became very popular, these 256 networks were very less compared to the demand. So, and one more problem was when we are buying a single network in this 256 networks, we were getting around 16 million hosts, and none of the companies except NASA or Google will need 16 million hosts because you are buying one network ID and you are getting 16 million hosts. So for many organization it's not relevant. So because of these reasons, like this method having 8 bits of network ID and 24 bits of host ID, it was not a scalable and we needed a classful addressing. Now let's discuss classful addressing. So the problem with the earlier method was that it was not scalable. Now in classful addressing, we divide the bits in such a way that it's scalable. Let's see how it works. We had 32 bits. So our IP number was 32 bits long. The total number of IP addresses will be 2 to the power 32. And in the last lecture, we have seen that if we choose one bit, the entire IP addresses will be divided into two parts. Let's select the first bit. If we select the first bit, half of the number it has, half of the number will be starting with 0 and half of the number will be starting with 1. The size of these two parts will be 2 to the power 31 and 2 to the power 31 each. Because we have seen that the first bit has been fixed, so the remaining bits are 31 bits. So both of these will be having a size of 2 to the power 31. We can also understand in another way, like we had 2 to the power 32 addresses and it is divided into two parts. So 2 to the power 32 by 2, that is equal to 2 to the power 31. So in that way also we can see that every part will be having a size of 2 to the power 31. Now leave the first part as it is and let's see the second part. So if we see the second part, it has 32-bit number, but the first bit has already been chosen as 1. So the size of this is 2 to the power 31. And now if we choose the second bit, we can divide this whole addresses into two parts. The first part, the addresses will start from 10 so on, and the second part all the addresses will start from 11. By doing this, we are just dividing the whole set into two parts and each will be having a size of 2 to the power 30. We can see the first two bits have been fixed, so the remaining bits are 30. So each of them will be having a size of 2 to the power 30. Now let's leave the first part and we will select the second part here. And in this part we can see this is 32-bit number, out of which the first two bits are already fixed as 11. Now we will select the third bit, and after selecting the third bit we will be dividing it into the two parts. So the first part will contain the addresses which is starting from 110, and the second part will contain the addresses which are containing 111, 111, 111. So every part will be having a size of 2 to the power 29. 2 to the power 29. Since we fixed the first 3 bits, the remaining number of bits are 29. Therefore, the total number of addresses available are 2 to the power 29. Now we will leave the first part as it is and we will take out the second part, and we can see here this is a 32-bit number and the first 3 digits are fixed here. First 3 bits are fixed as 111, and we will choose the fourth bit and we will divide this address into two parts. Therefore the first part will be having 1110 and the second part will be having the addresses starting with 1111. 1111. The size of this will be, since 4 bits are fixed, so the total number of addresses here in the first part will be 2 to the power 28, and in the second part also the first 4 bits are fixed, so the number of addresses will be 2 to the power 28. Now this is the way they have defined the classful addressing. Now all the numbers which are starting with 0, they are labeled as class A. So this part is called class A, and the size of class A is 2 to the power 31. All the numbers which are starting with 10, they are labeled as class B, and the total number of addresses in class B are 2 to the power 30. All the numbers are starting with 110, they are labeled as class C, and their size is 2 to the power 29. This part, all the number which is starting with 1110 are called class D, and they are having a size of 2 to the power 28. Also class E, the prefix which is starting is 1111, and the size of class E is 2 to the power 28. Now let me clean all the other things. Now before moving more further, let's first see how do we represent the IP numbers. So there are two ways to represent the IP numbers. The first way is binary number representation. So we can simply represent an IP number by displaying all its bits, all 32 bits, and we can represent the binary number, the IP number. Or else we can represent it in the form of octet decimal representation. What we do here, we just divide the whole 32-bit number into 4 parts. Just like you can see here, we will divide the whole 32 bits in 4 parts, and for each octet we will just write their decimal value. So for this we can write 255, for this one 0, for this one 128, and for this 7. And we should use a dot between all these 22 255.0.128.7. So these are the two ways by which we represent the IP numbers. Now let's see, if we have some binary number representation, then we can easily say that whether it belongs to class A, B, C, D or E, because we can see that class A has the prefix as 0, class B is having a prefix 10, class C is having a prefix of 110, class D has a prefix of 1110, and class E has a prefix of 1111. And the most important thing that needs to be taken here is none of the prefix will repeat. Like if 0 is the prefix of class A, then it won't be prefix of any other class. In the same way, if class C is having a prefix of 110, so no other class will be having the same prefix. So this way, if we get any binary number, by seeing just the first octet, like if we get a binary number like this and some other bits, so we can see here that it's a starting with 0. By seeing this only we can say that it belongs to class A. Or else if we get some number like this, we can see that okay, the prefix is 10, and we can say that it belongs to class B. So it's very easy to say if we have an IP number and that is given in the form of binary representation, we can easily see the prefixes and we can say that with which class it belongs to. But what happens if we get the IP number in this form, like 160.12.240.117? We are not able to identify like in which class this IP address will fall. So to do this, let's see the range of these IP numbers of these classes. So we will see the ranges and then it will be clear, like after seeing the IP number in the octet form also, we will be able to say with which class does it belong. So now coming to class A, total number of bits in class A is 32, out of which the first bit is fixed as 0, and with the remaining 31 bits the size of the class A is 2 to the power 31, that is equal to around 2 billion. In this 32 bits, it is further divided into two parts: 8 bits for network ID and 24 bits for host ID. The total number of networks here will be 2 to the power 7, because we know that the first bit out of these 8 bits is already fixed as 0. So with the remaining 7 bits we will have 2 to the power 7, that is 128 networks. And for every network, how many hosts we have? If we see, there are 24 bits for host ID. So for every network we will have 2 to the power 24, that will be equal to around 16 million hosts. So in class A, we are having 128 networks, and in every network we are having 2 to the power 24, that is 16 million hosts. Now let's look at the range of these networks. We know that 0 is fixed and we have remaining 7 bits. Then these 7 bits will start from 0000000 till 0000001 till all ones, and that is equal to 0, 1, and it will be around 127. So if you see the range of network, like the first octet, it will start from 0 to 127, and that is how the total 128 networks are present in class A. And if we see, although theoretically we are having 128 networks in class A, but 0 and 127, These are not practically used because these are reserved networks. 0 is reserved for some unnamed networks like the host which are not having any IP addresses assigned, and 127 is reserved for loopback addressing. So if we get a question like this, like how many networks that are present in class A, so we can say that total 126 networks, valid networks are present here. Similarly, we are having 16 million hosts, that is 2 to the power 24 hosts per network. But if we see practically, it is not possible to have 2 to the power 24 hosts. Although we are having 2 to the power 24 IP addresses, but we are not having 2 to the power 24 hosts, because the first IP address and the last IP address that are reserved for like multicasting and unicasting purpose. So when we have some network, suppose we have got a network of 126. So 126.0.0.0, this will be reserved, and 126.255.2 means all ones. This will be reserved. So this is reserved for network ID, and this is reserved for like broadcasting. So practically these two IP addresses will not be assigned to host. So if we get a question like this, what is the size of class A? We can say that 2 to the power 31. How many IP addresses are possible in class A? Then we will answer 2 to the power 24. But if we get a question like this, how many hosts are possible uh, per network in class A, then we won't answer it as 2 to the power 24. Rather, we will answer it like 2 to the power 24 minus 2, because the first address and the last address are reserved. And how many networks are there? So 126. Okay, so and the range that is in class A is 1 to 126. Yeah, so if we get a IP addresses like this, 91.256.10.8, so by seeing the first octet only we can answer. Like if it falls between 1 to 126, we will simply answer it like it belongs to class A. So when we are getting some IP addresses in binary number form, we were able to find out the class by seeing its prefix. But when we are getting it in octet form, what we have to do, we will see the first octet and then we will see the range of the classes. Right now I have only taken out the range for class A, but after this I will also find out the range for class B, C, D and E. So you can easily find out with which class does the given IP address in octet form belongs to. So yeah, now coming to class B. In class B, if we get a question, what is the size of class B? So the size of class B is 2 to the power 30, because class B starts with 10. So we have 30 bits as remaining, so the size possible is 2 to the power 30. Now in these 32 bits, it is further divided into 16-bit network ID and 16 bits host ID. So in these 16 bits of network ID, we already have these first 2 bits as a fix. So how many bits are remaining? The total number of bits remaining in network ID part is 14. So the total number of networks possible in class B is 2 to the power 14, and it's roughly equal to 16k. Therefore, we are having a 16k networks in class B. Now, how many IP addresses are possible per network? So we can see in host ID we have 16 bits. So total number of IP addresses possible 2 to the power 16 per network, and that is equal to 64k. So we are having 64k IP addresses per network, but practically 64k hosts can't be possible. So we saw in class A also, like if we have x number of IP addresses possible, then the number of hosts possible is x minus 2, because first and the last IP addresses are used in the unicasting and broadcasting. So if we have a question like this, like how many hosts are can be configured per network in class B, therefore the answer should be 2 to the power 16 minus 2. Now let's see the range. Since first two bits are fixed, 1 0, the other 6 bits in the first octet can be filled like 0 0 0, and its value will be 128, and the rest can be filled like 0 0 0 1 till all ones. No, 1 0, yeah, 1 0 is there. So the range here is 128 till 191. You can check by calculating it, it will be 191. Therefore, the range of first octet is 128 to 191. Here you can see that there are only 128 minus 191. That will be around 64 networks. But here we are talking that it is having 2 to the power 14 networks. But here we are only able to see the 64 networks. This happened because we only saw the first octet. And here in network ID part we are having 16 bits. So others 8 bits are also part of this network ID. So if we see, for every 128 also there will be 8 bits. Like for 128, for the prefix 128, there will be 2 to power 8 networks associated with it, like 2 128.0, 128.1, 128.255. So if we finally multiply 64 into 2 to the power 8, that will come to 2 to the power 14 networks. So the total number of networks possible here is 2 to the power 14. And the range that is here is 128 to 191. So if we get a IP number like 132.10.12.16, so we can see the first octet and we can see the range. The range for class A was 0 to 1 to 126. So it doesn't belong to that. If we see the range of class B, it is 128 to 191, and it will match to it. So we can say that this IP address belongs to class B. Okay. Now let's see class C. In class C, the first 3 bits are fixed as 110. So in 32 bits, if 3 bits are fixed, the remaining bits are 29. Therefore, the size of class C is 2 to the power 29. And these 32 bits are divided as 24-bit network ID part and 8-bit of host ID part. And in 24-bit of network ID, we see that 3 bits are fixed. Therefore, the remaining number of bits are 21. Therefore, total number of network possible in class C is 2 to the power 21. That is roughly equal to 2 million. And for every network, we are having 2 to the power 8 IP addresses possible. So we have 256 IP addresses possible. But we have seen earlier that these are the total number of IP addresses possible. So if the question is how many hosts can be configured, then we will answer it like 2 to the power 8 minus 2, because first and the last IP addresses are used for unicasting and broadcasting. Now coming to the range of class C will start from 110 0000000001 till 1101111. So it will come to 128 plus 64, that's around 192 till it will be 223. So the range of class C is 192 to 223. If we see a IP address having the first octet value between 192 to 223, then it will belong to class C. And we saw that class C is having a size of 2 to the power 29. Okay. Now let's move to class D. Class D network IP addresses are not divided into network ID and host ID, because these classes, this class D has been reserved for multicasting, and this class E has been reserved for some military purpose. So this is the very big disadvantage of classful addressing, because we are not able to use these IP addresses. Now coming to the range of class D, it will start from 0000 and it will end at 1111. So its value will be 224 till 239. So the range for class D is 224 to 239. Now coming to class E, what will be the class E range? So you'd have already seen that since class D ranges till 239, then its value will be 240. So class E will start from 240 and it will go all once, that is 255. Therefore the range for the class E is 240 to 255. Now let's see the range of all these classes at one place. Now, if we have the IP address given in either binary number representation or in the octet form, we can if it is in octet form, we will see the ranges, and if we have in binary form, we will see the prefixes. So these are the ranges for the class A, B, C, D, E, and these are the prefixes for these class A, B, C, D, E. Now let's understand the unicasting, broadcasting concepts in computer networks in the next video.